love video games. It's something that I've always said. Video games are something that I've always been very fond of ever since I was a little kid. They can be so fun and take you on journeys that you can never even imagine going on. One second you're saving the world from some godly being with your party standing by your side, and the next you're racing a car down a busy street with tons of cops chasing behind you. Video games are many different things to many different people. To some, they're looked at as something to play when you're bored or just trying to pass the time. To others, there's something a little more, a hobby that they've dedicated tons of time and money into over the course of many years.
My name is Antonio Romero Montero. I hold the Guinness World Record for the largest video game collection in the world.
Playing video games can be a stress reliever after a hard day by being a sort of escapism into all kinds of different worlds and adventures. Or, depending on the kinds of games that you like, they can even be a stress inducer.
How? 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 Tell me how then! How do you dodge it point blank? You can't!
Games can be used as a learning tool, intentionally or unintentionally, no matter what age you are. Video games are also a way to connect with and meet other people. With the creation of online gaming, that's expanded in many different ways, with things like new jobs centered around gaming, such as content creation.
We good. I think we're good. We're good. Move.
I wish that would have happened.
And then even esports. Last year, almost every time I went on YouTube or any social media really, all I would see is videos like why gaming is bad now or why the gaming community is dead. And sure, there are a lot of bad things going on in the world of gaming. But video games have been around for a long time now, and they're not going anywhere. There's so many advancements that have been made, and there are still so many that can be made in the world of gaming. I love gaming. I have for years, and I've experienced multiple different genres, styles, and adventures. So today, let's talk about why I love gaming. But to start, let's go back a bit.
Let's look at the funk.
The year is 2000, the Y2K era. People are playing The Sims and Mario Turn the Paper for the first time. Extreme sports games are cool, and games like Tony Hawk, SSX, and Jet Set Radio are in lots of players' hands. The 6th generations of consoles is here, and the greatest game console of all time, the PlayStation 2, was released, bringing with it a ton of new games. And on the day of August 5th, I was born. From what I'm told, 3 years after this, sometime in 2003, one fateful day, my mom put a controller in my hand, and that's what started it off. It was the best and worst decision she ever made. The best because it introduced me to something that I love, and the worst because now she had to buy more. The first game system she ever got me was a PS1, along with my first video game, SpongeBob SquarePants Super Sponge. I played the game a lot, and I really liked it, even though I swear I don't think that game was for kids, because it could be so hard at times. After that, my mom started buying me more and more video games, and I played each one for hours upon hours every day.
Boy, Amy sure doesn't give up that easy.
What is this place? Sure is bright here.
We got some time. Feeling lucky?
Sonic, we only have 24 hours left.
Okay, let's go.
The second console I got was a GameCube and a copy of Sonic Heroes. From then on, I was hooked, Sonic even becoming my favorite character to this day. And at the time, I didn't even have a memory card for either system, so every time I played anything, I always had to start over from the very beginning every single time. But at the time, it didn't really bother me because I was young. Unlike today, it would make me so angry. But something in me just clicked. I would sit at school and think about ways to get past levels or win boss battles. I would be restless for the rest of the day and I couldn't wait to get home to put my new plans into action. When they failed, I would be upset and it would be time to start thinking of a new strategy. But when a plan succeeded, I would feel great, I would feel smart and accomplished. and now I could see more of what was to come in the game. That was it. I was now a gamer. If you were to ask me what my favorite genre of game is, then I wouldn't have an answer for you. I like many genres of games: action, adventure, fighting, racing, puzzle, mystery, horror, visual novel, you name it. I'll play anything at least once because I really like trying out new games. I may not have a favorite genre, but I do have a preferred playstyle, and that playstyle is single player.
Kept you waiting, huh?
Most of my favorite games are single-player story-driven games. I love it when a game makes me feel immersed in a world and a story, making me feel like the story couldn't take place without me in control one way or another. When I play a game, any game, I try to understand at least a little bit of the lore. I mean, one stupid thing about me is even with multiplayer games like Overwatch, I don't understand why the characters are fighting each other. From a gameplay standpoint, it makes sense, but from a lore standpoint, it doesn't. That's why I much more prefer like Marvel Rivals, Rainbow Six Siege, Valorant. Those games give a reason for why there are more than one of the same character fighting. When I play a game, I really try to become the person that I'm playing as. When I play Metal Gear Solid, I'm the grizzled veteran going on the mission. When I play The World Ends With You, I'm the teenager running around Shibuya with his friends trying to save the world. And when I play Bayonetta, I'm the bad bitch witch. That's a crazy way to put it, and I know it sounds hella corny, but I think you can understand what I'm trying to say. I really try to immerse myself in the game and its world. I try to put myself in my character's shoes and really understand their goals and motivations. I feel like I'm really a part of the story and not just controlling someone until their story is over, because really, it wasn't just their story, it was our story. Pushing that car down the road for the first time, leaping into the abandoned factory, getting blown off the train tracks, or waking up in an abandoned hotel room. These are all things that me and the characters experienced for the first time together. So how will we go about our next steps is up to both of us. Do I bring Garrus or Tali? Do I do this race or that race? Do I go in quiet or loud? All of these different things. A lot of people hate things like QTEs and rapid tap sections, but I for one actually enjoy them. But that's not to say they're always good.
Help! Please! Someone! I'm going to die!
When you hit a QTE fast, you feel cool, like you saw something coming. And with rapid taps, it tires you out. It kind of makes you feel like how your character feels in the moment. I love that feeling because it makes me feel like as though I'm really there. I've played a lot of story-driven games and just love all the different themes there are. You can learn so much from the way story beats are implemented. I think a good story can uphold bad gameplay, and even that good gameplay can uphold a bad story. But in the end, I really love single player games because there's a type of experience you get that you wouldn't also get from something like a movie or a TV show. You have a more personal connection to these characters because they are an extension of yourself. You chose what weapon to bring, what stat to level up, what crewmate to help you. Sure, the game would have ended the same way regardless, but it's the way that we got to the ending. As much as the character is an extension of myself, I'm also an extension of my character. I'm not really a social gamer. When I play a multiplayer game, I barely talk in chat. I usually just play the game and move on into the next match. I've just kind of started using text chat if the game has it, but it's usually just for like a quick call out or something like that. When it comes to multiplayer games, there are so many to choose from. You got arena shooters, fighting games, racing games. There's just so many, it's kind of never ending because really any game can be multiplayer as long as it's implemented in a good way. Having fun with others is one of the core parts to a multiplayer game, even if you don't talk to the other players with you. Coming home from a day of work and hopping on Call of Duty to just get a couple kills, it's always a good time. Just turn off your brain and shoot some stuff. And sure, you can do that in a single player game, but it's always more fun to have the unpredictability of another actual human to play against. And you can get a group of friends together and play something like Mario Party, and don't even get me started on like the Madden and 2K crowd. But you don't always have to play against people. You can always team up with somebody and go against other players together, or even play a co-op story game together. Sometimes having another person with you can turn a game you don't like into something that's actually enjoyable. Personally, it happened to me. I tried to play Resident Evil 5 and I didn't enjoy the game at all. Like I got like not even that far into the game and I just was not having fun. Then I tried it again playing it with my girlfriend on multiplayer and it was a blast. Playing that game co-op is like so fun, but playing it single player is not fun at all. And that's one of the many perks of multiplayer gaming. I've played so many different video games throughout the years in so many different genres, and there are a lot of games out there. Everybody has a favorite game or a game that they go back to all the time. So let's talk about some of my favorite games and some of my favorite gaming moments. Borderlands 2 is a great game. I don't even know what to tell you. If you haven't played Borderlands 2, go play it right now. It's one of the best looter shooters I've ever played in my life. The comedy is great.
I will pay you to kill yourself.
And it's just a really good game overall, especially if you play it co-op with other people. Kingdom Hearts 2 is the best Kingdom Hearts in the series.
Did somebody mention the door to darkness?
But my favorite moment from this game specifically, if you have never played Kingdom Hearts 2, or if you've never played Kingdom Hearts in general, if you are a gamer, you have to play this game's final boss. The final boss to Kingdom Hearts 2 is one of the best final bosses I've ever experienced in my life. Whenever I think of Kingdom Hearts 2, that is the one part I always think of because it's just amazing from start to finish. Max Payne 3 is the best third-person shooter of all time. I don't care. It's just it's an all-around good game. The gunplay, the mechanics, the movement, everything about it is good. The action scenes, the only thing bad about Max Payne 3 is them cutscenes. They are so long, but other than that, that game is amazing. Mass Effect 2 is a great game. I played Mass Effect 1 and I honestly didn't really like it, but then I wanted to continue the story, so I played Mass Effect 2 and I loved that game from start to finish. Mass Effect 2 is a amazing game. Just the whole premise of the game, the final act of the game is my favorite part all around. You need to play Mass Effect 2 if you have not. Metal Gear Solid 2 is my favorite Metal Gear Solid. A lot of people like 3, but my favorite is 2. I mean, I like Raiden as a character. Sure, like I missed playing as Snake and everything, but Raiden is honestly a really cool character, and now a lot of people think he's cool because they all play Metal Gear Rising.
The memes.
But he was cool since Metal Gear Solid 2. I really like the ending to Metal Gear Solid 2. Not the final boss, but like before you get there when you're on Arsenal Gear. That whole part is just, that was the first like trippy experience I've ever had with a video game. Me and my mom were playing Metal Gear Solid 2 together. And when you get into the hallway and the colonel starts talking to you and he tells you to like turn the game off.
Raiden, turn the game console off right now.
What did you say?
The mission is a failure. Cut the power right now.
What's wrong with you?
Don't worry, it's a game. It's a game just like usual.
You'll ruin your eyes playing so close to the TV.
We were restarting the PS2 to like try to figure out what we were supposed to do, and we restarted it like 5 times and nothing was changing and we didn't know what to do until one day I eventually just kept playing and I was like, oh my god, I made it. I went to go call her because I made it through the area, because you just gotta not listen to what he said. But that was the first trippy experience I've ever had with a video game. Nier Automata is an amazing game. Lots of people know this already. It has an amazing story, an amazing soundtrack, amazing gameplay. I love Platinum games. Like Bayonetta is also one of my favorite game series. But Nier Automata is such a great game. My favorite part of this game, there's 2 actually, and they both occur at the end of the entire story. Firstly, when the game switches back and forth, when you continuously switch back and forth between 9S and A2 and the final act between each of their perspectives, that part is so cool. And in the final fight with A2, if you play as 9S, when you keep hacking and when you finally like get to the last hacking portion and it just shows the pause menu to the game, that part is so cool to me. Like whoever thought about that, they just went crazy with that because that was so cool. Kid Icarus Uprising is the best 3DS game to ever come out. Argue with whoever you want, Kid Icarus Uprising is the best 3DS game ever made. The comedy, the action scenes, the fighting, it's just all so good. Sonic Colors is a game, but there's only really one part about this game that really gets me on every time, and it is the ending. When the orchestra version of Reach for the Stars starts playing, I literally get goosebumps every single time I hear it. That part of the game is so amazing. And then when you use all the colors at the same time and the announcer just keeps saying every single one that you throw out.
Unlimited colors! Laser! Drill! Space! Rocket!
it's such a cool moment, and it's something that it's one of my favorite gaming moments of all time, because that ending, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it right now. I love that part of that game so much. And finally, Sonic Generations. Sonic Generations is the best Sonic game ever. Like, it just is. And Shadow Generations made it even better. It's like, it's such a good game, but if you've played the games that came before it, it makes it so much better. Sonic Generations is just an all-around good game, period. And yeah, those are some of my favorite games. Hey, I never introduced myself. My name's Vaughn, the Unlucky All-Star. This is my first video, so I don't really know how good I did, or even how good it is, really. But, yeah. I just really love video games, and I wanted to, share my opinion on how I feel about gaming in general. I don't really know what I'm going to do from here, but if you're interested, maybe subscribe to the channel. I plan on posting more videos, be it videos like this, Let's Plays, or even like anime related videos, I also plan on streaming on Twitch eventually, so if that's something that you're interested in, maybe you could follow me over there. And lastly, maybe you can follow me on my social medias, Instagram, Twitter, things like that. I post like, random game clips and like random takes and opinions on like video games and anime and things of that nature. So, yeah. I really appreciate you. I really just want to thank you again for watching the video all the way to the end. And, yeah, stay gaming, bro.